Hey guys, what's up YouTube? It's Rob. Welcome to 8Rack Livestream. Appreciate y'all watching. Um, Especially appreciate you replay watchers. Please keep those awesome comments coming in. I read every single comment. I do not comment on every single comment, but I promise you I read every single one. Keep them coming in. And if you have questions, feel free to ask or feel free to check out the Discord channel link. That's a permanent invite. So just come on to the Discord channel. That's where most of the 8Rack discussion is going on. You pretty much find people 24/7 there. All right. So that being said, for this live stream, I wanted to do sort of a state of 8Rack in regards to the splashes and what splashes are viable. Why would you choose a splash? Our splash is viable in general. Um, and if so, what should the splash look like? So there's a lot of different variety here. I would say you have a lot of different ways to go, but let's start with just asking the fundamental question of why do we want a splash? Obviously, the main thing is you're going to try and bring something to the deck that you cannot accomplish. It's outside the color pie of whatever, this like, just general deck theory. Whatever your base color is or group of colors is, you're splashing to get something that you don't have access to. So what is it that we want access to? In 8Rack, well, we have some problem type we've got some gaps, some holes. We don't have any artifact or enchantment destruction, so that'd be great. We do have Leyline of the Void, which is pretty solid in regards to Graveyard Hate. That's a pretty good card. Rest in Peace, though, if you have the choice between the two, I usually go with Rest in Peace. I like that card. It's not dependent on getting it in your opening hand. And it is backbreaking, completely backbreaking to the decks that it hits. Also, it's a good card to in that it turns off Delirium and or like Tarmogoyf type things, and it turns off Tarmogoyf becomes 0/1s while that's in play, and what do you call them? Scoozes can't go past wherever they're at. So yeah, it turns Scooz into a bear and Tarmogoyf into a 0/1. Not a bad card, where Leyline does not necessarily do that. And that's to your, may or may not be to your benefit because, this being one-sided leaves us with our Ravenscrime. But, there's pluses and minuses to both. So you make the decision for yourself. This could be what comes out if you've got Graveyard Hate coming in. And there's a ton of other Graveyard Hate you can do too, but you do get the disenchants from white. You get access to all kinds of life gain, all kinds of utility creatures, you know, Leyline of Sanctity and things like that. If you want to go that route, I've done it before. I used to run it like that. I used to run Leyline without even running a white splash. I would just leave Leyline of Sanctity in there just to fight the burn match or whatever. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it's worth um, just mulliganing to that just to give yourself a chance or whatever. It adds 4 more good cards into your opening draw potential. Hey, Harrison, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's kind of like my Monday because I just got back from my vacation, but yes, happy Wednesday. So this is so getting back to so what do we want out of the color? We want some kind of support to fill in the blanks, and I'm going to be honest with you, people right now are not completely and totally, but almost completely in agreement. Your so-called pros and what people will tell you on SSG / Mad Salvation forums, what they will say is that white is far and away, and I agree personally, is white is the best support color. So if you've got to choose, my suggestion would be to look very hard first at white and see what it adds. There's some not that one. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Just to bring this up, white gives you access to cards like Lingering Souls. This is one of the best cards in the format. Decks that can play it probably should. Like, if you've got white, you really want to play this card. And we already got black, so that's pretty good. Also, in this particular build, I was running Ensnaring Bridge main deck here because the Souls works just fine with Bridge. It's not a non-bow. So it's a very, it's a nice interaction there. This is an old build, but I'm just showing you some of the examples of cards that you want to do. Stony Silence, shutting off KCI decks is very, very nice. KCI is an extremely annoying deck. And some people would want to splash white just for access to Stony Silence, depending on what you got running. Sorry. Good evening, I should say, my British friend. Let's see. What do we? Well, it's a high value card. It gives you this could be stalls for stabilization. It's an alternate win condition. It's you could think of it as racks, 8 plus, 9 plus, whatever. It's your alternate win. You're happy to discard it to it's possible. I'm just saying, it's not the only way to go, but you got to understand this card. Like, I'm just responding to this comment here. This card is a high value card. It just has that sort of, good stuff's appeal in that decks that could possibly manage playing it probably want to see it. It's like, it's just high value. It's good against blue. It's good against black. It's just pretty good. What's up, Duck to Duck? Yes, you are immortalized, sir. Replay watchers, you must now look at Duck to Duck's comment and immortalize him on the internet. So, but yeah, well, it's not just this. There's other things that we have access to, and this what I got here is not my only example here. Like I said, this is a pretty big draw because it just shuts off the dredge. It shuts off Bridgevine. It shuts off. It's easy to cast. It's unlike Leyline. You're not just like having to. It's like a Leyline just feels like a 40%. If you do the math on it, it's like 39.5 or so % chance of getting Leyline in your draw. So that's like way less than 50-50 odds. You know what I mean? Now, if you extend the draw out 2 or 3 cards, your chances go way up over 50%. Yes, I'm not necessarily like we haven't even gotten to be honest with you, the question of whether or not you should splash is more of a separate issue. Like, if you're already committing to splashing and you want to splash because either for fun reasons or you may have a legitimate reason, like I go to a game shop and 10 people are there for Modern and 2 of them have Bridgevine decks or something like that. You may want some extra help, beyond Leyline of the Void or something like that. Or, okay, forget about that because there's a lot of graveyard. But if it's the other way around, or if you got KCI got lots of KCI, Stony Silence is very, very good against them. And then there's other cards, like I said, that you can have access to. This gives us a way to interact with, artifacts and enchantments that we normally don't. If you need that, I'm not necessarily advocating it 100%. I like playing when I do it. I like doing it for this main deck, to be honest with you. Mass removal of grave you want against Hollow One. You want against You definitely want it against anybody running Goyf. You want it against Bridgevine, obviously. Oh, it's good. It destroys Storm, by the way. Storm can't win with that in play. Um, what else does it hit? You want. There's a ton. There's so many decks right now operating off of Graveyard. Any of those landlocked decks or locked using Academy Ruins or whatever like that, Bluetron type things. Um, I'll grant you it's fairly useless against Tron itself, but I mean whatever. Um, you know. But yeah, I do it for fun. I mean, that's the only reason I play any of these decks is for what I find to be fun. But it has to be effective too. I'm not going to play something that doesn't work. Otherwise, it's not going to be that fun for me. But yeah, I think Myth Realized is a really undervalued card, and it definitely combos out really well with Raven's Crime. Um, it's a secondary win condition. Like you would put this in place of Rats basically, which I'm also running here too. Like if you think they're going to be vulnerable to getting overrun, yeah, you may very well want Rats on top of that, and it just gives the deck a whole nother kind of a second gear. You don't being a linear based strategy, we're vulnerable if they can defeat our one strat. If they come around that, like if you get blue starts to get a handle on the game and keeping its hand out of you, they're not taking damage from your racks and they got counter spells for days and stuff like that. They can easily take games, So in some cases, they can't do two things. They can't do that and defend against your rat horde, or they may not be able to do one or the other. Um, yeah, I think it's really solid. I mean, okay, every single spell, I don't have to worry about the value not being there because every spell triggers it. And it's a 1 CC investment on an enchantment. Like if we're going to invest on 1 CC for an alternate win con, it seems I'm not asking a lot. Like it's very low investment. It's not demanding at all, and it gives us access to a color that has some nice um, this is like I do not want to see. I will do whatever I have to do to not lose to a graveyard deck because I do hate Bridgevine. To be honest with you, I cannot stand them, and I hate dredge decks and it's all of this freaking hollow one type things are just evolutions of dredge decks. Eventually, from days of yore, abusing graveyard to get a bunch of critters in play and swing. Um, there's strategies that block it, and Graveyard Hate is good against them. So, um, anyways, I don't know that this is probably what I would run right now. Keep in mind, I haven't, revisited this list in quite a while. I'm still running some. Mm, it looks pretty good. It's not bad. It's a little creature removal light. I bet I could just run with it like this. Let me see. What do I want on the side? One card I wanted to talk to you about. And okay, so that's white, and you see what white gives you access to. Um, let's. Sorry, probably should have started with this. This is probably the biggest draw for a lot of people. Uh, we don't really care about its downside, although it's not super great to cast it on turn 1 or 2 usually. You want to wait till turn 3+ for this. But it does give us this, and Fatal Push pretty much takes care of all of our creature problems. I'm not running it in this particular version. I was getting into some crazy ideas there for a second. I am running it in this version. As you can see, I removed Smallpox and replaced it with Path to Exile. going the total opposite way. You can't run path and smallpox, so that's why it doesn't work here. But depending on why you're splashing, like you do get access to that. And yeah, timely reinforcements is great against burn. That's a good card if you can last that long. I've died before it comes off. They end up like skull cracking you because you have to cast this at sorcery speed, so you cast it on turn 3, and they end up skull cracking you, and then you just fold. Um, hmm. What are the main reasons for continuous exile instead of single mass exile? It buys you way more time. They can't deal with it. They can recover too easy. You're not. A lot of cases you don't have a lot of clock. Um, you're not. ARAC doesn't necessarily put immediate pressure. You could be sitting there waiting for your win con and letting them rebuild their position. You need to force the issue. Um, and the other thing is, those decks, they're running. Keep wanting to say natural state, but it's not that. It's Nature's Claim. They're running Nature's Claim to deal with Leyline. You may need more than one thing at a time, and that's the other thing is that's nice about Rest in Peace is once they start, you can use it and you can punish them with it if they overcommit, and it can slow them down even more. Sometimes with Leyline they can play around it because they know it's there from the beginning. Uh, Favored against Burn? No, we can beat them. We can beat them, but I don't know if I would say favored. I'd say it's a toss up like anything else. Burn gets God hands, and you're not stopping them. Um, you're just vulnerable to it. Uh, some decks are completely immune to it. It's usually the way it goes. Is well, I don't know. I guess it's the spectrum, but I say we got 50-50 shot against Burn. You could tune your sideboard if you had Burn. If you had knowledge of Burn, I think Collective Brutality. I think I'll put that here actually instead of Time Link. To be honest with you, I think Collective Brutality is really good against Burn. I think it's better than that card because it's guaranteed and it comes out a turn earlier, uh, and it does give you. It could stabilize you right there. You could do all 3 modes even, um, and get rid of useless stuff that you're not going to use or whatever. Um, I don't know that I would have Dismember here. I think I would have. I think I would do a 3-3 split. Okay, I think that's right. 3 pushes, 3 paths. I haven't really given up much deck space. This should work. I would say this is a pretty solid list. So let's try some of these. I'm going to try that one. Is that this one? Sorry. I know it's not the right date, don't matter. There. You mean like a transformative sideboard? Is that what you call it? Yeah, I've called it transformative sideboard. I've tried it. I have a rough time with it, to be honest with you. I'm not with 8-rack. I don't think I've tried it. Depending on what you're talking about, but I've tried it in general. This ain't too bad. I'm probably going to regret putting the lily down, but I will. Ah, it's our friend. Well, this ain't too bad. What's this bitch? That's an irritant. I'd love it here, but I don't have the right lands. I had to mulligan to get these lands. But I would love to play that right here. It'd be great. What would you suggest? Like, what are you trying to? What are you getting at? Like, how transform it into what exactly? Like I could see something like in red going to from light land destruction into a really heavy land destruction plan. It's gonna strip mine me, but there's not a whole hell of a lot I can do about it. Oh, like that. Hmm. Well, I do that kind of a little bit. Sometimes I feel like the bridges coming in and out, to swap in and out with my rats feels a bit transformative, but I could think about it. I mean, I think it'd probably make more sense to do it in some kind of a splash deck where you could change gears, like change between two big gears. Um, these death and taxes decks are seriously annoying. Uh, don't let anybody tell you we're favored in this match here. Ugh, yeah, it does not look good. I'm gonna try a couple different things, um, but I'm messing around with a uh, myth realized deck, but I am not having a whole lot of success yet. The Thalia is usually backbreaking. I already discarded one, but ripped into another one. Yeah, that's good, solid. That's nasty. It's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Smuggler's Copter. Well, that's a good deck. I guess you would call that Maverick. Yeah, and I agree, Michael. And you can run Pack Rat's main deck and just gear change whenever. Yeah, that's yeah. I think Pack Rats are good just to have as a. I've never really had a problem with them. It's pretty good here. It's fine. People ask me sometimes why I go to different, like I don't sub cards out. Uh, because it used to be called back in the day when you would catch people doing that, they used to call that cheating, and then they changed the rule to make it legal. So you can figure out, what you want from that, I guess. This is probably not good, being that they're running that tax bullshit on me. Um, I'll try it. I might get a good draw. Who knows? The voice is really the only problem that I have to worry about immediately. I don't really care about that bitch. The Eternal Witness is nasty. I'll take the voice for now, I guess. We can. We definitely can, Harrison. There's no reason why we. That's why I think. Yay! I got a little bit lucky. Um, I think the answer is yes, we can. Could be worse-ish. I, we know the flicker. We know the witness. It's probably got Coco in there too. Nah, it's don't even need to really. Just kill this thing. God, I thought he might go for the voice actually on that. With the thick flicker on that. No, why discard the pushes? There's fetches in here. Plus he has 2 CC critters. He didn't have any. I mean, am I worried about his path? I'm not worried about his paths. Yeah. See, I want to keep my pushes. He's got critters. Can't blame him for playing that. See, the push is useful. The push is useful a bunch of ways. I have to do that. Kill me with that. If I don't. He's semi-paralyzed. He does have the canopy. He's got something he wants. I think he'd probably be smart, depending on what it is, to play it, because he has the canopy that he can do in response to the 8-rack trigger. The hell? Can you kill me with that before I can kill him? You better pray I don't get a removal. I can't remember Toxic Deluge. Yeah, he's got me. I can't stop it. He's got enough to kill enough dudes to exile, right? Yeah. You can do 8. Put up a fight, but yeah. I wouldn't say I'm favored in that one. Toxic Deluge. Let me look it up. Doesn't ring a bell. But my mind is not where it once was. Oh, I remember that. Nah, I'd run Bontus. I'd run Bontus over that, I think. I think I would run um, Slaughter Pact before I'd run that. Okay, or that. Are you sure? I remember that. Thought it came around the Eldrazi ones. Okay, or that. But I think I would still, even if it were, I think I would run Bontus over that. Slaughter Pact is cute too. It's kind of like Bontus, a little bit. Works like that sometimes. Slaughter Pact is cool when you've got like, you either want a +1 on Lily, but they still have a creature or something like that. Like, it's good to defend your Lily. I've noticed. I loved it for that. Okay, I think we can. It deserves another try at least. See if we can get something remotely playable for us. It's remotely playable. I found it interesting how few cards I could find outside of like Hymn to Turok and maybe Dark Ritual or something in the Legacy card pool that I want to add. Ah, Ye Old Death Shadow. Not a bad hand for that, actually. Um, I didn't try it, but I would try it. Sinkhole, I think, is definitely part of the plan. I think you could maybe go an interesting route with that. What is this? What is this? Simian Spirit Guide. Oh. It's Living End. I see. I think it gives us a pretty reasonable win condition here. I see. Don't forget, their creatures are vanilla, and Living End won't kill my myths. So if I can pump up my myths, I might actually stabilize. He's gonna want to try and Living End really soon, I think. I don't want to activate these things until he Living Ends. I'll just keep pumping them up. Hey, broski, welcome. Man, Living End. I haven't seen it in a very long time. Modern is very diverse. With him tapped out, I'm feeling good about this. Definitely gives him something to think about. He can't. The other thing is sometimes they get stuck with their only Cascader is Demonic Dread, and they actually need a dude out for that. But I think if that was the case, he would have left that guy out. Yeah, I mean he's got the obvious. Damn, I need that Raven's Crime right now. Just let it go. I thought for sure he would do it there. He leaves it out. He doesn't. He doesn't undo it. That means he does have the Demonic Dread. I think. I think that's what that means. What do you say we find out? He's got Beast. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have any Cascade. Go ahead and I don't care if he has Living End. Oh, that's okay. I mean, I play when I, you know, feel the. Like I said, I had OBS down and I just didn't have motivation to fix it. I guess not enough. I think he's in gigantic trouble here, actually. I think these things are a really solid plan. Because he's still in death range of 1. That said, he definitely has outs. He has some pretty decent outs. Not, he didn't catch any. Let's see what we got. So rest in peace. Oh wow, how did that get in here? Extra pay too. Yeah, all the above, right? Don't need the fatal pushes, obviously. Same with paths, really. It's not how I'm going to beat them. The one thing though, Mike or Michael, I can guarantee you is that I always come back to Magic. It's been a game that I've never completely abandoned for any permanent length of time. Oh, you still playing Darkest? I just tried to get into that new expansion and it kicked my ass really bad a couple times and start playing other stuff. I got into Ark. I got into. I've still been playing a lot of Duelist. Ark was a big one, and EverQuest a bit too. Oh God, what have I done? I meant to play this first, but that's okay. Oh, he's casting something weird. I don't know. Weird. He does not have a good hand. I should be okay here. Pretty nice plan. I mean, I'm gonna win this, I think. So it did its job. So I think that first game at least proved that it did its job. It was one CC threat enough to win the game on its own. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a plan B. Like, I'm not killing you with the rack, so here's something else that still kills you while I do my other thing. It's a bit of a misplay. I should have definitely played this first. It should be a little bit bigger here. This is a great hand. Now I can just Raven's Crime Loop, play the 2 cards next turn, and start swinging. I mean, it's crazy. It's about as good of a hand as you can ask for. I've got Raven's Crime Loop, and he'll have basically no cards when I'm said and done. And I got beaters and racks, so good luck. Oh, I hit it. He hit his Cascade. Five. Frig. Damn. You got me on this one. Alright, alright. Spoke a little too soon on that. Hopefully I'll get a rest in peace. That would be nice. Pixel Tactics. Pixel Tactics. Okay, I'll check it out. Sounds like something I'd like. Have you tried Duelist and or Monster Tactics, I think it's called? Those are two good ones, but Duelist is by far the vastly better one. This hand is a tough one to know. This is a strange hand, but I'm going to keep it. I think these fast lands really made splashing a lot less painful for Modern, now that we have both allies and enemies. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my god. I mean, you see what's about to happen. Okay, Hearthstone, I guess. I think Duelist is really great. It's extremely diverse now. It's one of those games that's gotten better as the sets have released, I feel. What's up, pup? Channel mascot. She's freshly groomed. Her little feet doesn't have any more of her fur on her. Breath still stinks. A little bit. In before he rips it. He ripped the Violent Outburst, right? Nope. Caught him. So it came out. It's like if you think about it, it's Rax 9 plus. Same casting cost, totally different interaction, but it's an enchantment. It's a card. You know what I mean? Why didn't he keep that in his hand? That's retarded. I mean, I guess he doesn't know, but I would have kept that in my hand if I were him. It's basically a good game. Yeah, it's pretty solid. You can't say it's not at least considerable in rack. Um, I think both matches that we won, even in the match that we lost, it put him on a certain. It definitely put him on a clock. He did rip his. He ripped his Cascader, so um, so be it. But it was a. I think it was a pretty good demonstration of what Myth Realized can do for a deck. Um, I could check that out. Pixel Tactics, I'll check it out. Sounds good. Sounds like it's up my alley. I love Duelist, so Duelist is the only game that's even remotely like a CCG that I've ever played other than Magic. All the other ones, including Hearthstone, I am not interested in them at all. I've tried them all. They're cool, they're interesting, but it's just the depth and breadth of Magic. They have 20 years worth of development to get to. So that's why, like, talk to me in 10, 15 years when they have so many different strategies and not everything is solved and one or two decks are obviously overpowered. Like, you got to come way out, way farther um, down the road for it to interest me because it's scratching the same itch as Magic for me. So, whereas Duelist is the first one that is not because it has the deck building that I love about Magic, but it also plays out totally different. It plays like Tactics, so which I really enjoy, and I think that's enough of a it's different enough from Magic to be it's its own thing, and I really like it. So anyway, so that's enough of the white splash. Didn't get my rest in peace there, but if I had, it would have been a knockout at any point in time in any of those games. So it's an option. The other one we wanted to show. I was messing with. Yes, Mansarak. And the other reason I wanted to bring this up was I want to talk a little bit about this card. I just threw this sideboard in here together, and this is replacing the Ratchet Bomb because I'm using some permanents of my own here with Young Pizzy, if you will, or whatever you want to call them, Young Pyromancer and Grim Lavamancer. So this is replacing that. And it's just a cool card. I just want to get the feel for it. I haven't tried it in any 8 racks. Yeah, it happens. But there you go. You have to, it helped. It did, I think it did what you wanted it to do, especially that first game because it was my finisher. I didn't clock him any other way. I won with the myths were my only win on him. So it was definitely racks 9 plus in that. Same casting cost. It's as vulnerable as what do you call it? As Shrieking Affliction. It has the exact same vulnerabilities as Shrieking Affliction. So if you accept the consequences and casting cost of Shrieking Affliction, you should be able to invest in Myth Realized. No spell, every single spell, including itself, triggers it. So it never is dead. See what I'm saying? You can pump it up on its own, and even as a top deck, it's not bad. You know, some people complain it's bad as a top deck. You pump it up pretty quickly if you're in top deck mode. If it's like that, where you're stabilized and you're just waiting for that finisher, it probably gets you there too. Um, but anyway, it's a thing. Also, it can be played with smallpox. So for those builds running smallpox, think about it. Anyway, let's try this one out. So flavors of the day. Should we be splashing? Is the question that has not been solved. I'm not saying that question is solved. Should we be splashing? I'm not going to say that. There's a hard answer to that. There's a case for both yeses and nos to that. But if you are, let's do it for fun and check it out. Wow, this is a painful hand. Talk about pain. Yeah, whoever is suggesting Death Shadow makes it feel like definitely that right now. I think I'm going to mull it. I'll keep one landers a lot, but I had a bad feeling about that one. What do we have here? It's a combo? Combo deck? Something like that? No reason to show my hand too much. He doesn't know what I'm on even. Inquisition isn't conclusive. It could be Mardu Pyromancer. He probably is thinking that. What does this do again? Okay, whenever another creature, that creature gets played. Huh, that's weird. Yeah, that's the thing, some kind of Kiln Fiend nonsense or another. Okay, that's good. I'll double crime here. I'm not sure if I could have played a land next turn, but even whether I could or not, I wouldn't have. I would have definitely saved it for this. I'll hold lands. Well, I guess what I was trying to say was you might want to consider holding lands in your hand. Lands are a resource, and they're not to be just wasted if you don't necessarily need them in play. Yeah, disenchant is a big reason. I don't see a lot of Sanctity, Leyline of Sanctity being played these days, but it is a big reason for it. Plus all the other things it gives you access to. You can make the burn matchup a lot better for yourself if you want. Go that route. What was this other thing he had here? Expedite. That's cute. If he wants to bolt that, I'll make it cost him 3 life. Okay. So it feels good. Good. Do you run any Blood Moon, Cody? Yes, disenchant hits Chalice. That is a big point that I did not mention earlier. It's very, very important. Chalice completely shuts us down. And if you're running a splash, you need it to defend you against Blood Moon too. That's one weakness that Mono Black doesn't have as much. So this guy, what is it? How big does this damn thing get? Do I block? I don't even know. What? All of that for 3 damage? I didn't even know what the hell he did. That's really weird. He's got to have some kind of Kiln Fiend scenario going on there. That probably shouldn't have done Raven's Crime. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest with you. Well, he rage scooped anyway. Yeah, Death Shadow. It's it's definitely because I've never had a scenario where there's more ways to approach 8-rack than there is right now. There really is a lot of different ways you can go with it. You can go critter heavy with Death Shadow and Bob. You can go, a more controlling way with Bridge main and whatever support color you want. There's just a lot of different ways to go right now. A card that I don't know if you would consider it, but Bridge users maybe consider I don't know. Sometimes wish I had a welding jar when I have Bridge, but it also hits the rack too. But maybe just a singleton here or there, something like that. I don't know. Buried Ruin strikes me as possibly more useful than Mutavault in Bridge builds, maybe, sort of. Something to consider. But anyway, Yeah, yeah, Death Shadow is great. Um, yeah, it's just like you know, here's the thing. It's like it gives them stuff to deal with. Okay, so they deal with all of our critters, but we still should have enough discard. Like you got to make sure you have enough discard to back it up. The Death Shadow works nice because it lets you use Bob and not feel so bad about the life loss because you're kind of in an all-in scenario. So it capitalizes on that. You know, it gives you a way to you know, turn the otherwise unplayable disadvantage of Bob into an advantage. You know, and I have a deck that reflects that. Actually, I think I called it this. Yeah, I was running 3-3 split on that. So there's so many different ways you can go right now with that with 8 rack right now. So um, yeah, I'm gonna do one more match, and it's gonna be my tooth and nail deck. Find the damn thing. This is a very good choice right now. It's really solid against uh, Tron. It's really solid against. It's really good. It's diverse. I have taken control away from burn decks multiple times. I'm not gonna say your favorite, but you got a fighting shot. It's not the greatest hand of all time, but it's not too bad. I'm hoping to rip just about anything other than land. Ah, it's like another Death Shadow, I think. Not too bad. I feel like I'm gonna lose another one to another Thoughtseize. I feel like. One of the original sets of Planeswalkers, I believe this is the only playable one from that set. I guess you could consider Baby Jace playable, but not many do. You might have a Spell Pierce? No. I'm gonna make beasts. So this is one mode the deck can go in. Garruk making beasts. Um, Typically decks with blue don't like to see tokens. duds. Oh yeah, I have a similar avenue. I have a deck pretty close to what you're talking about already. Actually, should I just make another one? Puts him at lethal, doesn't it? Yeah, why not? Just make another one. Even if he has like an Anger of the Gods, I'm still okay. I mean, no question about it. He's on Death Shadow. That's GG. Might have a stubborn for it. No? Okay. Yeah, I mean, come on. Swing at you. Graveyard hurts him pretty bad. Does it hurt him worse than Blood Moon? It's usually the way I try and... Ah, the hell with it. They used to call that cheating. I was saying that earlier. Just putting cards in without taking cards out. That's good. That'll work. took the overgrowth. I thought for sure he'd take the elf. I think that's a smart choice, though. That's pretty good, though. I'm okay here, I think. Presumably, I'll get a Garrick online reasonably soon. So, we'll see. Garrick pumping out beast tokens to block is where I'm at now. This will be interesting. We'll see how this goes. Could go either way. It's a good move. Everybody at Garrick. I gotta put in a Dryad Arbor in here. I gotta put one Dryad Arbor in here because I wish I could fetch that. Oh wait, it comes untapped. Yeah. Still though, fetching it for a blocker is good. I mean, I gotta risk it. I have no other chance here. I have to call his bluff. No, okay. No. Try. I'll try like this. I'm gonna try like this. Yeah. Um, yeah, broski. It can be really. There's three different modes, three different main modes the deck goes into. One, you ramp into this and just cast it right out as soon as possible. Another, you ramp into some kind of Primal Command, Eternal Witness type loop, and then the other way you ramp into a Garruk, and then do whatever you need to do Garruk wise for that. Shite. It's good and bad. Has good and bad qualities to it. I know I need the red for Blood Moon, but I think this is the best way to play it that I'm about to. Well, depending on what I get, we'll see. Take this. Might go for this. This scares him, but I can't. I'm not showing it. But see, then I think you have to take this. I was worried about that pretty bad. Let's see. Oh boy. get back that Blood Moon. I think it's a threat. It's not what I'm going for now. I'm planning on casting Primal next turn, but see how it goes. Didn't really want to see that. These guys are good to chump too. Okay. No Temur Battle Rage threat. Just gotta be careful I don't just overrun him straight over with my dorks, etc. Scary. It's down to 4. Shit. Damn. Close. It's gonna be close. All I need is a land, because I have the Kessig. Oh, cool. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Weird. Yeah, I was wondering what were you doing there, buddy? You can blow up your Death Shadows? Oh, for Christ's sake. Really wishing I would have chose red on this. Oh, boy, I could have done red. Why didn't I choose red on that? Well, I got my witnesses that'll live. I just need a fetch land, for God's sake. He's mad at himself, that's all. He's mad at himself, which I can understand. I'm still only one land away from a win. All I need is a land. I almost never need red in this, but apparently now I need it. It is what it is. This is not. You can check out the replay. There's a bunch of 8 rack on this replay. It's just my final match. That's response to jellyfish. Who's winning here, probably? Oh, it's trample too. Forgot. Oh well. Bit of a frustrating draw on that, but I misplayed it. Problem was I didn't choose. At any given time, I could have picked that land. I had a bunch of opportunities to get myself red. I could have chosen red on my Utopia Sprawl. That was definitely misplayed. Yes, yes. Other content. Yes, sorry. If you were misled here, my friend. But yes, check out the replay, Jelly. Fear not. There's lots of good, info on 8-rack in this particular replay. I think some good examples of splashes and why to do it and what they can add. Yeah. All right, so that's good. That's a nice stream. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more. Let me know what you want to see more of or less of, or whatever comments, or you think you got good ideas, please put them in. I read everything, and I appreciate y'all watching. So take care, y'all.